Got my water bottles. Everything ready to go. So the way we're going to do this, I will actually set the timer for like 25 minutes. For the first session, if you're coming in here new, just use like the first 25 minutes to maybe gather your reference or something like that. The way we'll do it is we'll do 25-minute poses where we are drawing over the figures. This is like a figure drawing session, except we are drawing on top of figures. Break down the shapes, like if you were here for the earlier morning class and saw me do my demos, you can do that. You can do that too. You can do what I did, or if you have some figure drawing knowledge to begin with, just like start breaking stuff down, how you would break down figures and stuff. This is a session where we will sit and vibe together, working on like getting this practice knowledge in together. And then in the evening, 7 to 10, there will be a figure pose session where we get to do regular figure drawing from video reference, like the other figure drawing workshops I've done in the past here. And now, because we've digested this stuff with the first 2 sessions earlier today, we have better context to get more value out of that session. So for this session, we will concentrate entirely on drawing over photos, although you can do like copy studies if you want alongside it. Maybe like draw over a figure and then try doing a copy study, or like changing the pose or something like that. But for the time being, I want people to kind of internalize this stuff. Break down figures. You don't have to exclusively use Russian Figure Academy, but you should use reference that's clear figures that are well designed, either drawn figures or well photographed live figures, drawn or painted figures, or well photographed live figures. I implore upon you to exercise your judgment in picking what you study from. And you don't have to exclusively study what I'm studying. So I'm going to start very shortly. I'll get Rhythmbot in here so we can have some vibes. No, actually I should not use Rhythmbot, because Rhythmbot is going to bring in copyrighted music. So forget that. Alright. So I'm going to bring up Clip Studio Paint. I'm going to just continue what I was doing in the first session today, which is drawing over these guys, and then I'm going to grab some more and do more of those, and I'm going to do them in 25 minutes at a time. Okay, Google, set timer for 25 minutes.
25 minutes, and that's starting now.
Okay, Google, raise volume by 20%. Okay, Google, test volume.
According to Wikipedia.
Okay, Google, stop. Alright, cool. We're good to go. Alright, just take it slow. Analyze the figures. I'm going to talk through some of the stuff that I remember from the notes I took from Steve Houston. Let's see here, actually. Alrighty, so one of the big things that Steve Houston went over in what I was studying in for breaking down stuff for this class was the idea of combining gesture and structure and balancing the two. So I'm going to try to maybe look for opportunities to try that out. So if you're working traditionally and you don't have the ability to draw on top of the photos, just do copy studies. If you are able to print them out though and to draw on top of them in some capacity, then that can also work. Yeah, VizRef. I don't think it's free though, right, Eno? VizRef is the iPad version of. And one sec. Shoot! I didn't open my creator dashboard for the Twitch channel. There we go. Sorry if anyone said anything in the Twitch chat. I didn't have my creator dashboard open. But we're also streaming this to Twitch. I think the Twitch link should be in my profile. So if you can't see if the video stream is full, it should be in my profile. Yeah, when streamer mode was on, it didn't give a profile link. Okay, well, there we go. That's working. Yeah, and people have linked my Twitch there. Some exciting things starting to happen here. I mean, like, there's a lot of people showing up in the Discord. It looks like we might be having like official art classes in the future that might be like official paid things or something. I'm not at the skill level yet where I could probably run them, but I'm like, I'll still continue doing what I do. We're going to probably use a donation model for like the people that are running classes like this and stuff. We already have a tip jar set up where you can donate like to me or other artists that are going to be streaming and running these classes. You can donate to their PayPal or their Twitch. I'm doing this partly as an experiment too, so I'm not picky about which that gets donated to. But anyway, getting back to art. Right now I'm kind of just playing with the forms and stuff. I'm kind of thinking a little bit about 3D forms, looking for opportunities to kind of read into this. It's like thinking about form and direction, like this leg here. Let's see here. Like this leg is kind of tilted a little bit that way versus the foot that's planted. So I'm just going to make these parallel lines here. It's like on the side plane of the leg, kind of. And then it's just a little bit cubic, but just trying this out to see how it looks. You might want to do this instead. So I'm coming back into drawing pretty rusty, and doing an exercise like this is excellent as like a warm-up tool, or a I'm feeling burned out tool, or a getting back into the swing of things tool, or as a supplement cross-training to your regular figure drawing, because it reorients you a bit. It lets you, if you're doing for Baker Street, well, you can use the Russian Figure Academy drawings that I'm using, which are excellent to study from. But it's up to your discretion what you decide to study from, and you can even use photos. Just do them. Just follow along. These aren't going to be timed. Just do studies of them. Take them slow. Try to get something out of them. look for maybe things you struggle with or things you're seeing on there that are clear that might be something to try analyzing. I'm doing an awful lot of box forms on the pelvises, for example. Here, 1 second. I'm gonna. Okay. All right. When you get further along, when we get further along into this course, there's a lot of stuff from how we break down figures, which will show up a lot more in these, for sure. I'm having some muscle memory come back to me of like Riley method, for example, on what I just did there on the front of that torso. And Riley method is one particular approach to figure drawing. And we might go over a little bit of Riley method stuff in the future here. For now, I think we're going to be slowly working our way through some of Steve Houston, because Steve Houston has got, the way he teaches is very animator oriented, or, well, not really animator oriented, but like really conducive towards animators. So I kind of want to move in the direction of learning more from him right now for the purposes of these classes. So if you want to follow along with the materials that I'm going to be covering in these things and get it directly from the horse's mouth instead of filtered just through me, I would recommend signing up for a New Masters Academy website and checking out Steve Houston's courses on figure drawing. His introductory 3-part figure drawing course, I think. I think everyone's drawing. BK. Jeez. Yeah, I think I might need to work on a smaller file size. So the export on this was really huge. I think it's slowing down when it does the autosave in Clip Studio. I might want to just use individual images or something. Let me see. I might be able to set it up so I can see both Twitch chat and this at the same time. If you do want to help me out, actually, you can just like jump into my Twitch chat and just sit there. You'll be helping me that way. You don't even have to donate a cent. So I'm currently a Twitch affiliate, but like apparently you get partner if you have average viewership like 75 or something. And you get more for percentage of donations that people give you through Twitch if you make partner. But don't worry about it too much right now because we haven't really come up with a consistent model for how we're doing this just yet. Whether it's going to be like concentrated on being through Twitch or something. The important part is that you're here to study. So and building subscribers and stuff is like secondary, not even secondary, I would say, to what I'm trying to do here. I'm doing this because I want to get better at art. I suck. I'm doing this to study, to get better, by helping to teach all of you folks and give you guys some context of our art activities to do together. We are all in the art gym together as like kind of an art support group, study group right now. This is like a Lazy Artists Anonymous meeting support group, basically, where all the lazy artists come together to get unlazy. And remember, when you're drawing over these, this is not tracing. You're trying to understand these. You're trying to think about 3D forms. You're trying to think about gesture. You're trying to interpret it and break it down. Think about simple shapes. Think about integrating those simple shapes into gesture lines. And think about starting a new file, because this file is getting really bloated, and I'm going to have to get something smaller so it doesn't chug. I'm just going to save it real quick, and I'll do. Now I'm going to keep. I think I'll keep drawing after it saves, and then like during the break, I can maybe set up a new file that's much smaller. It's cool. We got 74 people in the classroom. Only 31 people in the Twitch. Well, like I said, Twitch doesn't matter right now. We'll figure out some kind of formal thing if Twitch should be emphasized over the Discord or something. Me and the other people who are running classes here are still trying to figure out how the hell we're going to do this stuff. But it is cool that I'm getting more viewers than I ever have on my crummy little Twitch channel. But anyway, so I might go over some Riley method stuff in the future, but this is a little taste of it right here. Like this thing that I'm doing right here is Riley method. Right there. Like breaking the torso down that way, and doing this with the arms and the limbs like that. That's Riley method. Riley method is, like I said, one particular approach to figure drawing. We'll be maybe touching with other methods too in this drawing course, but like I said, I was going to concentrate mainly on Steve Houston's approach, which actually makes use of a lot of those. I mean, I know that he covers a little bit of Loomis. I thought maybe throw a Loomis head on this. It's very pixelated, but I can throw a Loomis head on it. Yeah, Blaker Street. I literally just exported it. I'm trying out that file, that thing, and seeing how it works. I'm used to using like files like this size at like 300 DPI because I'm lazy and I just like drawing out all stuff on the same page and comparing it. But it's not working out so hot right now because that huge image file that I loaded into this of the pure rough stuff is causing a lot of slowdown. So I'm going to have to maybe think about how I can optimize doing that for the future things. But for now, it's working pretty good. Alright, so I'm not really, I actually shouldn't really be concerned too much about drawing quality on these when it gets like pixelated like these, because like the point of this is to try to understand what I'm drawing, not to make pretty drawings. I mean, these are drawing over something else. So when I make my new file after the break, I shouldn't worry too much if it gets kind of pixely. What method did you use to export pure? I just right click, and then in the save menu there's export from selection, export scene, which is exports the whole thing, and export images, which just exports the images that are in there into a folder. Yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff. Check the PureRef website. There's a bunch of other things that you can use that thing for. Nice. Thank you, BK. Let's see what BK had to say. Very nice. So anyway, I suck at art, quite frankly. I'm not very good. That's why I'm here with y'all, with all y'all. I'm trying to get better. We're all trying to get better. And it's going to be really fun to see how much I grow doing this, because I'm using an experimental model for studying right now. And I'm a bit of an entitled little prick, to be honest, because I need to be around other people when I'm learning and I'm studying. It's really hard for me to study on my own. I need other people. And teaching a lot of other people and trying to break down the things I'm studying is like a kind of a glorified university art school thing. It's a great way to do that. I was talking in the earlier class today about how I actually want everyone here to try doing what I'm doing right now with people you know, and people in our Discord, community, and people you know who are artists in real life and stuff, like fellow students and other peers and so on. I want you to try study grouping with them and trying to teach them things that you are learning, and vice versa with them if they're part of your study group. Although you can use people as a sounding board and get the same effect if people are willing to listen when you review your notes and try to explain them back to them. You shouldn't be intimidated by any of these. You use you're learning from these. Like you are getting like little bits and pieces and little tiny chunks of knowledge from doing these. I've drawn over these. I drew over these like the last time I drew over them was before I joined this Discord, was like years ago. These are great to get little bits of knowledge from. I might want to talk about some of the knowledge in them a bit too. So here's one of the ones I did earlier today. It's coming fresh, hot off the heels of going over Steve Houston's notes. So I was really trying to break it down and stuff. And so I used a mix of curve, use a mix of curve lines, that have endpoints to them, like cylinders and stuff, for example. That creates structure out of your curved lines, your curved gesture. And of course also using box forms. Box forms that have curves on them. Box forms that are curved. So it's still 3D and it still follows the rule of perspective, but it is pliable, kind of organic-y shape also. This could almost be like a torso if I was doing a mannequin study. And we'll get into mannequin studies too in this workshop. I have something that I have a tool I'm going to start using that I can take photographs of. It's a toy that they it's a very tall Spider-Man toy that came out for Spider-Man 2, and it's a highly articulated. Whoops. Alright. It's a highly articulated character model. It's really annoying there. It's like I gotta reopen all my windows because when I moved stuff around it kind of fucked up everything. And this is a good time to take a break, by the way. But this does not really show off just how much you can pose it, sadly. But this is a very, very tall figure. I've got it actually right here with me. Kind of hear the joints moving right now. But it's a highly articulated character model. It's like a million times better than any of those like stupid little artist dummies that you'll get. They have like no sense of form to them. This guy, I'm actually going to maybe take a bunch of photo reference of him for like a future class session that we can all draw from, that I'll probably give out as homework. I'll probably have to hold him so he stands upright for some of the photographs too, so it's going to be kind of funny with my fingers and hands in the background when I take these pictures of him. But yeah, Spidey will be an excellent tool for sure. Spider-Man figure Watts. Oh, and here's someone who actually was using that to practice from, by the way. I think those are them, yeah. Yeah, there it is. Is that the toy? What is that? No, that's not the toy. That's the CG. That's the That's neat. Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
So take a little break and get up and walk around. Oh, hey, look, I think this is some of the materials that Watts used. We're not going to be using them right now, though. Put on home resonance. down during the break. Be back in about 4-ish minutes, I think. Check this out. I think that the timing is just right on the timer I put on the Google Home. Just after that song ended. See? Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, set timer for 25 minutes.
25 minutes, starting now.
And here we go. Alrighty, I think I might need to set up a new file for myself, actually, so I might use this session, use the first part of this session to hunt for images. And maybe, let's see here. Yeah, this was a pretty good start. Let's make sure that's saved. I need to figure out some way to play my own music and have it like piped on a separate audio line that won't get picked up by the Twitch stream. That's not a problem over Discord, but it is over Twitch. Alright, I'm going to close this file and I'm going to open a brand new separate file when we get back to that. So I'm going to open up PureRef, new, save, alright. And let's go on a reference gathering adventure, shall we? see. I had some other stuff open earlier that I was looking at. I was looking at Alex Ross, actually. I mean, that's tempting to use, but I'm not too sure, actually. I think there's some other stuff I can get that would be more valuable for me right now. Oh, I know. Not sure how good those would be, actually. I have to move it off camera real quick to make sure that I don't get any art nudes on my Twitch stream. But I'll be dragging them in from off camera. Alright, let's see here. There we go. This is the kind of stuff I want to study for sure. Whoops, what the hell just happened with that? That's really weird. There's that. Maybe just do these. Oh, here. I'll try to get like a good variety of them without overdoing it like I did on the Russian page. Ooh, here we go. This is something that we will probably be making use of in future sessions. The Asaro head, designed by a man named John Asaro. It's a sculpted model that is a handy tool for practicing drawing the human face. Whoops, there's a better version of that image. So what these are is these are figure lands. I think one of them has like a shadow patterns and an anatomy on it. And this is actually kind of in the vein of stuff that we're going to be doing in a long drawing class when we get further along in it, along in stuff here. But I'm kind of walking my way back up through figure drawing. Here's a more rendered image there. Oop. Can't use that one. Okay, that one's usable. Some clothes models in there. So like I said, the way I'm going to be running things is going to be very animator oriented when we get further along. For now, we're just kind of getting in the swing of just drawing and understanding figures by observation. It's a really nice one, but it's really large. Shrink that. I think that's almost good enough for now. Let's get some of the painting work in here too. Ooh, cast drawing. Ooh. Gives me an idea. I might actually get some photos of figure casts to throw in on one of these. Another one, but I think that is good to go by for now. Lots of stuff. So save this. Export this. Wait, no. First I want to optimize. There we go. Export. Save it. Export scene. Lots of stuff. Cool thing is, like I said, you can export. If you can just use just like yoink images and stuff like crazy, and like get a huge file going, and then you can right-click, save, export all images, and then or selected images, and then it exports just the images into a folder. But the way I just saved it now is it saved this basically, like what you saw when I was doing the draw over. The face structures came up when I was looking for Watts Atelier stuff. I'd like to show it on stream, but there aren't nudes in there, and I can't really show those on Twitch. So tomorrow, Tuesday morning at 10:30, at 10 a.m. I'm sorry, is the meeting of Reference Hunters Club, where we are literally going to be spending like an hour basically doing this, hunting for reference or making reference if we're shooting video reference of ourselves and stuff, or like setting up for that and prepping for that. I'm starting the Reference Hunters Club through the Discord as a means of I'm starting the Reference Hunters Club as a means of artists being encouraged to maintain the regular habit of searching for reference for the things they do. Here, I'm just kind of loosening up with my pencil right now. Alright. This should keep me busy for a little while. The next few time sessions, I'd say. So already passed it down that bad boy. Let's see how it saves now. Whoops. Hopefully it doesn't chug. Maybe I should shrink it even more if it is chugging, or maybe I raster it. No, it saved pretty quickly. Okay. All right, cool. Alrighty. Maybe I should blow this up a bit then. Yeah, BK, I mean, you made a good attempt. I think the biggest thing that's going wrong with me is that you needed to define the shoulder tilt a bit better. And also, there is something I know you're definitely not doing from seeing that, which is you're not holding up your pencil and measuring things or checking the angles of things. You hold your pencil up at arm's length to the thing that you're drawing to kind of visually gauge and check the angles of stuff. I want people to start practicing doing that here, and we'll be practicing doing that during the figure drawing tonight. I'll be reminding people to do that actually. Like, what I'm doing right here when I draw over these photos is basically like a version of that, except I'm drawing directly on top of it to do it. Instead of, like, literally what you do is you hold out your arm with your elbow locked at arm's length with your pencil up, and you measure and things and check proportions. And you check the angle at which things are tilted. So I'm thinking of just like playing with basic shapes and stuff here. I'm just trying to understand a little bit about what I'm drawing. This doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just trying to absorb a little bit of this, and I'll be applying a little, maybe like 10 or 5 to 10% of what I got in my bloodstream from this during tonight's figure drawing. And that's fine. I have more time to really slow down and think about these, and also most of the drawing is thought out already for me when I'm drawing over it. But this reverse engineering process I'm going through right now is like, oh, that's making my brain go, oh, if I want this thing to look good, I keep it in simple shapes before I even consider like adding muscular anatomy detail or things like that. And I keep in mind the stuff that Steve Houston was teaching in the lecture I saw earlier today, which is about combining gesture and form. Actually, gesture and structure. And there's an opportunity to do that here a little bit. So now I got that kind of wrist going on there. Can add some parallel lines right there, because it's following that curve. I think I'm good to move on. I'll just do this cube for this box he's sitting on. So this is... Alright, so one of the things that Steve Houston talked about was like combining structure of boxes with structure of tubes. You're going to be using like cylindrical tubes for a lot of stuff in your drawing, but there are certain parts where you can combine it with boxes and tubes. Like, for example, I've got a box. This is a rough estimate. I want to say it's a little bit off there. I really don't like using the resize tool, but I'm just going to use it here just to save a little time. So, what he talked about is like you start with you would do something like you'd start with like kind of a box, getting the angle and the general width of the hips, and then you sweep up with a tube from the hips that's as wide as the hips. And then anything else that kind of sticks out from that, if the person's like particularly muscular, like if these muscles are sticking out, like that stuff gets added on top, of course, or like added into it or whatever. But you get like this cylinder basically going up here. I think that's the top of his shoulders actually, so it just continues like this. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
You've got 6 minutes and 20 seconds remaining.
Cool. I might show off some more advanced stuff that I saw that's literally doing what I'm doing here, but like to a much higher degree. And all your studies don't need to be that high degree, but these were like some particularly nice ones. I'll probably show them during the break. It's by an artist I've been admiring and vaguely obsessed over for the last couple months. Unfortunately, there's a lot of like actual nudes in what he's doing, so I'm gonna have to maybe zoom in on the stuff that doesn't have any nudity in it. Yeah, Matt Rhodes. Yeah, he has that practice page. If somebody can link the Matt Rhodes sharpening the axe page in chat, I'd appreciate it. And he's great. He's good. I had an animator who I showed his stuff to say that like his work didn't really do anything for him because his lines seem a little bit forced. Which is understandable. Matt Rhodes is a concept artist. He's not an animator. Animators have to be a lot more loose. But there's a lot to take away from Matt Rhodes, for sure. And Matt Rhodes, and even then the guy thought that Matt Rhodes was still really good. Just like aesthetically, his art didn't do anything for him. But functionally, he acknowledged his skill. But that's something I'm keeping in mind about like who I'm probably going to gravitate towards studying from more in the future as I keep moving forward. We're all going to have to be super diligent about practicing and improving. Especially if you suck like I do. I need this so bad. But I mean, you put the effort in, you're not going to suck. And that's what I'm looking forward to. Every day suck a little less. can quote me on that, by the way. Maybe put that on the coffee mug. I'm sure it's been coined like a trillion times already, but it's not been copyrighted. I'm stealing that shit. You see what I was doing here, I was trying to break this leg down to basic shapes while also following this kind of gesture line that I did. I could keep going with that one, but I think I might want to... Okay, Google, how much time is on timer?
2 minutes and 24 seconds left.
Yeah, I'll just keep going on this one then. Maybe just get some symmetry going with the cubic shoulder on the right or something. Get a little bit of the shoulder collarbone action going on here. But yeah, Matt Rhodes' Sharpening the Axe page that somebody just posted in Discord is an excellent thing to refer to show that the level of diligence you should be trying to put in your practice efforts. Matt Rhodes is an extremely experienced draftsman though, but I mean like in terms of like even if you aren't at his skill level or anywhere approaching it, like the amount of effort that you can see him putting in there is what you should be taking away from that, and the kind of practice that he's doing. Like the timed figure poses, the draw over anatomy studies, the small studies, that was supposed to be the brown line. I fucked that up. It's really bad head draw over there. But oh well. So I was on autopilot. That can be a danger. Like sometimes going on autopilot can help you because you become less self-conscious, but other times it can hurt you. I think in that case it kind of hurt me a bit. I'm trying to absorb information from these and think about them more too, so I don't want to be on autopilot all the time when I'm doing them. These are also really soothing to do. That's the other thing I like about them. It's like you don't even have to make, like I'm kind of used to doing them and stuff, but I mean like if you're new to this, you can be just like something like this. Just kind of doing a continuous line without lifting up the pencil and kind of feeling out the form. Just get the whole thing in at once. Okay, Google, stop. I can just do a bunch of those. Oops. Just to kind of loosen yourself up. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
It looks like you don't have
okay,
any
Google,
timer
set a timer for 5 minutes.
Sure, 5 minutes. Starting now.
Alright, so a little break. Alright, so a little break. I'm gonna grab a snack. Feel free to post questions in chat. I don't know if I'll be able to get to all of them, but like, if you do have any questions, I can maybe take a glance at chat when I get back here. Alright, so Aerith, who's posted in Discord, here, let me show. Should probably be better if I did this. Alright, so maybe I can do a demo over this, but so you're off to an okay start. I'm seeing some stuff happening in there that is going to help you long term, but there's more you can do with it. And also there's some stuff at the start that I see you kind of struggling with. You're thinking about it from the wrong angle a little bit. So let me yoink this real quick. Alright, so the first things first, you should be thinking about this in terms of gesture. That means finding the gesture, the sense of gesture to the form that underlies the form to this whole thing. And then you use that to kind of riff off to create the structure drawings that you create. I see also a lot of like kind of like these are kind of, there's like a lot of crudeness going on here that's not really going to help you too much. Like it's kind of banana fingers there. Let me see if I can grab a hand here. Well, if there's a clear hand that I can use for that. Not particularly. Oh, there's that gun. That's that one. I'll use that one when I get to there. But anyway, like, with a sense of the gesture, you can kind of get like a sense to the pose and the attitude and then weight and stuff and the flow of it. You can build that into the structure that you're doing, which is a little bit of what I'm trying to go for when I make those kind of like bendy cubes that kind of follow a rhythm and stuff. They're slightly bent, they're sort of following a kind of a sense of gesture to them. Or like this, right here, it's kind of curving. You add curves to the structure, and the curves are part of the gesture. Both of these could be plausibly used as like a simplified object for like a forearm or something. You want to think in terms of like simple shapes, but like kind of following the flow of the gesture. And you want to feel out the gesture. So maybe like this. Let's do this structure drawing in black. Maybe something like this. I do kind of like some of where you're going with it, with trying to pay attention to side planes and stuff. I'd want you to do more of these, but really slow down more, I would say. And also try to incorporate gesture drawing into it. So like, maybe I want to separate the hips a little more. I'd probably do it. I'm sort of semi-following your drawing of it. I'd probably do it differently if I did it from the phone myself. I'm just showing you some possibilities of what you could have done. course, like going out beyond the length of the actual leg a little bit, which kind of helps me like get the curve and the flow going. I just terminate it like that, and then do that for the lower leg too, and the feet. Maybe we can do that for the limbs as well. And then in order to make them into a 3D shape, boom, boom, or wherever the shoulder is. It's kind of hard for me to tell unless I have the full photograph. So, whoops. So I have to assume that this one is probably like something like this on both sides. And then I put like a kind of a cubic shape on the end here for the knee. Maybe I can even put the same thing kind of here a bit. I'm kind of guesstimating and stuff. Like part of this is kind of trying to trial and error, see what works and what doesn't. Anyway, that's like an example of a little bit. Kind of stuff you can play with. Let me do one of the hand real quick. Just move this guy off. And try not to get caught up in details too much. Try to go more for simple and clear. Although if you either simple and clear, or if you're gonna go scribbly, like feel it out. Like do stuff like that continuous line that I did. You have to excuse me because I'm going to be chowing on ramen a little bit while I do this. Alright, so okay, for this arm, I'm just going to do an arm and a hand right now. Forearm and a hand. So first off, I'm going to establish the forearm a little bit here to where I'm comfortable with it. And this forearm is going to be a tube. It's going to be a tube that transforms into a cube that's propped up on this ish, let's say. So it's more like this actually. So something like that, maybe, I want to say. And I like for the hand, I get a gesture of something like this. Just like the whole sweep of the hand. Maybe add a little bit there just so I can kind of get a bit of the knuckle in. Bit of the thumb. And because I've done that, then I can just use some measurements to kind of pinpoint the thumb based on what I know about hands. Like that, like the top of your thumb is going to come up to about the base of the knuckle of your hand. It's actually more like this ish, I don't know. But anyway, so the important part of this is I wanted to do this to show off how I do the structure of the hands. Which is, I start with a bendy cube for the palm, basically. And then out of this end here is where the fingers come. We'll go over hands more in depth in future sessions and stuff. But yeah, like I mean, like that's the palm itself is basically like a bendy cube. There's more to it than just that, but thinking of it in those terms kind of makes it a lot easier to wrap your head around a hand. Hands are one of the hardest things to draw on a human figure. That and the heads and also the feet. And arguably I would say the shoulder. Because there's so much that changes every time the shoulder changes position. I'm going to get a bite of ramen real quick, and then we'll go to the next study. Remember, I'm doing this demo right now, but you guys should all be practicing yourselves. Find your own images. Use that piece of software to collect them. Import them into your art programs and do drawovers. Or copy studies if you're doing traditionally. Or you can print them out and like draw them with like a colored pencil or something. Or tracing paper if you happen to have that. That's traditionally how it used to be done. I actually, when I get some more income, I actually want to order a bunch of tracing paper to do basically what I'm doing here traditionally. Yeah, Kamishi, you're drawing way more detail than you should be right now. You want to be thinking in terms of really basic shapes. You're using gesture as a guideline, and you just want to exclusively think about very simple shapes. Very simple shapes that kind of follow the flow of the gesture. Do not worry about anatomical detail or anything like that. I'm doing little bits of anatomy here and there where I see opportunities to, but I'm mostly keeping it to basic shapes. Like these are all really basic shapes that I'm using right now, like in this one. Cubes, spheres, cylinders. Let's try to think in those terms, basically. Also, the more of these you do, the more insight you'll gain, and that's why I have assigned homework of people doing a little bit of these every day for this week. So this pose that I'm looking at right here is an example of what you call a figure lay-in. This is what you do before you move on to like adding more detailed stuff to a pose. Well, actually, this one is a gesture draw. This is one of the gesture lay-in. A full figure lay-in would also involve adding some of the features to the face and probably some more anatomical details. But this is a really good start for a figure. This is more like a figure lay-in right here. See, like the dimensionality's been worked out, and some of the actually, this is maybe a step ahead of a figure lay-in, I would say. Because there's a little bit more anatomy than there would be in a figure lay-in, but this is a great example. Check this out. Look. See what's going on there? Cube. See? Cube with a cylinder. And look at that. There's a kind of an egg shape here for the torso. Look at that. And you can see how he constructed the head right there. And he did all the measurements that I was showing off, see? There's that side plane of the head there. Halfway through the side plane. There's the ear, the angle of the jaw, right there. Center line. The brow line would be just like that. Yep. Aerith, actually, like a way to simplify the knee that I thought was really clever that somebody, some artist showed on Twitter. I might have to dig out and see if I can find is the front of the knee, the kneecap should be drawn almost kind of like an angry a finch that is scowling at you. Like a finch with a beak that is scowling at you. Like the divots on the sides of the knee look kind of like the eyes of a bird. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
It looks like you don't have any timers set at the moment.
Okay then. Okay, Google, set timer for 8 minutes.
Okay, 8 minutes. And that's starting now.
Okay, Google, cancel timer.
Okay, it's canceled.
Okay, Google, set timer for 3 minutes.
3 minutes. And we're starting now.
Okay, Google, add 1 minute to timer.
Done. 1 minute added to your 3-minute timer. You've got 3 minutes and 56 seconds to go.
So I got 3 minutes to do this study on this dude. Digital assistants are really handy. I think you can do this with most people can do this with their phones too. But hands-free, being able to set timers like that is really handy. Okay, Google, who is Jc Leyendecker?
According to Wikipedia, Joseph Christian Leyendecker was a German-American illustrator. He is considered to be one of the preeminent American illustrators of the early 20th century.
Probably. I would say like the biggest mistake that I see people making is not slowing down enough. Even I could probably slow down more, but these are kind of nice and loose. Let me go over here because I think some of these are nudes. Alright. Oops. No, these are pretty alright studies. I would say slow down even more though to really think about the forms that you're looking at. Think about like think about the dimensionality of what you're looking at, and do more of these. Just do more. Try to make wire sculptures out of these with the lines that you're with the gesture lines you're making. Kind of like you want to be thinking more about the interior than the exterior when you're making these things. You're not tracing the outline. You're finding the flow, like what I'm doing right here. Like this is not tracing per se, this is like doing a sweep that interprets it. And then you go back in. Something like that. Establish the direction of the leg. Cylinder going on there. Maybe make this a box. Maybe have this be the front of the box. It's a little bit visible. It's a little bit hard to see. Sometimes you have to make a bit of a guess on these because, like, this is really hard to read at this resolution, the crunchy resolution that's going on there. So I kind of have to do a little bit of interpretation. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
T minus 15 seconds.
But I mean, like, when you're in your figure class, like, if you can get stuff like this as your studies, that would be really good. Like, this stuff is a lot easier to do when you use that, like, okay, Google, stop. So one of the things that you're going to run into a lot when you're doing these figure drawings live is you get the angles wrong and you get the proportions wrong. And the way you do that is you visually hold up your pencil and measure them. You have to hold your pencil at the end of your arm. Hold it up, kind of hold the angle that you're going to draw, and like kind of understand the angle that something is tilted at, and that basically becomes like almost having your photo, almost having like a photo to draw over inside of your brain. And you do the same thing with checking proportions, like using your pencil to measure stuff. Like if I was doing this guy, I would like hold up my pencil. Okay, so using my pencil, and that pencil length, his head's about that big. So then I use that to maybe like measure how many heads down he goes to his foot. Then I'm able to plot the bottom of the drawing. I'm able to like make a sweep, and then kind of figure, oh, okay, well his foot's going to be probably about there-ish, I would say. And of course I would draw the head first probably, so I can measure off of it. In fact, getting the head established first is something we're going to cover a little bit more in depth when we get more into the actual act of quick sketching in these courses, in this class. But for now, we're drawing over photos to kind of absorb the info, and we're going to be drawing by observation later today. So, yeah, I'm going a little bit over right now, but basically, like you would use your pencil to like check the proportions and the angles in relation to this. Like this is maybe about something close to, well, maybe a little under the length of one head when tilted that way. This space in here is about that much. This from here to here is about one head. That from there to there is about one head. You'd find this out by like measuring with your, because like limbs change apparent length when they're foreshortened to you, and different parts of the body will be longer or shorter depending on what angle they are. So you can use something like the head as your measuring point and just sight size it with that method of holding up your pencil. And of course you also use that to figure out the angles. Like you'd hold up your pencil and then like check the angle of this, and then you'd go back, check sight sizing to see roughly about how far out the knee is, and then you can do something like this about roughly about where the leg is going to be. Anyway, we'll go more into that in depth too, but start measuring the stuff you're doing when you're doing copy studies and drawing from life drawing. That's very important. You should get into a constant habit of that. I'd forgotten it, and it's very important. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes.
Alright, 5 minutes. Starting now.
So we got about an hour and a half more of these glorious studies. Which are extremely valuable to do, and you will walk into figure drawing feeling a lot more confident after doing these, even if you're like feeling really, even if you're having a little bit of time struggling with these and stuff, like it kind of takes a little bit to set in. The fact that you're like observing these figures and trying to figure them out, like you're going to see a noticeable improvement in your figure drawing tonight if you attend the figure draw the live model figure drawing at 7 p.m. tonight Pacific time. Goblin Guts is the right idea for sure. Goblin Guts' draw over is looking good. Let's bring this over into the stream so we can take a look at it. Yeah, Goblin Guts has the right idea for sure. There's more they can do, definitely, and I'd like to see more confidence in your construction, because there's some stuff where it's going a little wonky. But I think that might partly be because of the handling that you currently have on your pencil right now, whatever you're using to draw with. Zane, is that how it's pronounced, is doing a breakdown. This is actually closer to the kinds of exercise I'm going to have people doing in the future when they do homework. We're sticking with draw-overs for this, and actually some of the homework is actually stuff kind of like this. We'll go over the homework at the end of class, of course, of what the homework assignment is. But some of the stuff that I want you doing is stuff like this, where you don't draw over it necessarily, although I think he might have. And then he did a breakdown. I think they did a breakdown draw over maybe more than once, unless that's the same drawing. And then they tried to do a copy. So for this, I think he did a pretty alright start. I'd say that the arms are getting a little out of whack. They're getting a little large. And it's making the figure look really, really top heavy, especially like this arm right here is like bulging out really hard. But that is a good exercise to do. Rowdy's got some good ideas drawing over this, although this is like drawing over gesture drawing, I think, really loose gesture drawing. Yeah, but I looked at those. This one's pretty good. I see some gesture, I see structure. It's really kind of scuffy though. Like I would want to see. I mean, it's okay to go that scuffy, especially if you're trying to loosen up a bit. But some of the stuff looks like it needs to be slowed down and thought into more a little bit to get more out of it. This one, I can tell that this person is struggling. They have some problems kind of understanding how 3D forms relate to each other and how perspective works a little bit. This leg's 3D shapes are gonna relate to this leg's 3D shapes, for example. So these are kind of the 3D shapes are a little bit awkwardly constructed in that regard in this, but I mean, that's a good idea to start with a gesture and then try a pass at it with structure. Unless you did that in reverse. And there's that. Like I said, this one needs to be way simpler and broken down into geometric shapes using gesture as a guideline. That's looking pretty good, I would say. This is the right idea. There's issues going on here, like in the knee there and the forearm there, but there's a lot of good stuff going on that I like. I like how this arm, it feels like this is like actually attaching to a 3D thing here, like so I like where that's going. This one, I'm a little bit fatigued. This one I'm kind of losing it in the details a bit, but it looks like there is some okay stuff going in there. This one's This one's a little messy, so it's hard for me to evaluate it fully, but I think might be some okay stuff in there. Okay, Google, stop. That one's really nice. Something going on with that shoulder. I think that left shoulder's kind of out of whack a bit. These are looking pretty good. Yeah. For these, I would say more on line confidence. You have the idea of what you're supposed to be doing, but try to be cleaner with your lines. Raboots. And for me, see, you kind of have a somewhat of the right idea, but now is the time to start making those sight size measurements to make sure that you're getting stuff in the right proportions. Like you can use the head to measure, like the head at different angles down on the body, and like how many heads down is it from the pit of the crotch, like here, down to the foot, and stuff like that. Use like the front of the face, kind of like from maybe that point of the hair down to the chin, and you can measure it. And that's like your point of reference for everything else in the figure, and checking angles and stuff. Alright, so I'm going to take a little bit extra break, but you guys can get back to drawing right now. I'm going to maybe step up for another 5 minutes or so, because I need to get up and walk around. But you guys should get back at drawing. Okay, Google, set timer for 25 minutes.
Alright, 25 minutes. And we're starting now.
If you happen to have a Twitch Prime sub floating around, you can get this spiffy little pug emoticon right there. Huh? Thank you to the 2 people who subbed to me, by the way, from today. This is my first time really trying classes like this, and hopefully I might lead to wind up getting like Twitch subscribers or something out of it. That'd be pretty freaking rad. Yeah. Ah, thank you. King Kemi, thank you for the Prime sub. I really gotta start paying attention to those, because if people are going to start making them. Yeah, King Kemi, feel free to spam my pug emoticon anywhere you please. I think if you have... oh, wait, no. Discord Nitro. Does Discord Nitro synchronize with your Twitch emojis? I don't think it does. Does it? Oh, 1 month subscriber, yeah. That's cool. It's probably for the... Founder, 1 month subscriber. Wonder what that means. Interesting. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer? Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
T-minus 18 minutes and 51 seconds.
Cool. Well, I'm going to hit the restroom, and then I will be back to participate. Alright, I'm going to try a test drive of a piece of software I have. Oops. For the purposes of this stream, it might be something I can use instead of streaming figure drawing videos for sessions like these when we want to do like timed drawing poses together. In fact, it's really kind of surprising I didn't think of this sooner. So this is an app called Gesture Drawing, and you can do this, basically. So now we have 5-minute figure poses of these. And then I guess like if I set it up on the Discord overlay, I can set it up so like my drawing space is super small, and then like this takes up the lion's share of the screen space or something. So I'm gonna want to maybe mess with that later. But for now, don't worry, folks. Don't worry about it for this particular half hour that we're in the middle of right now. But for the very last two in this session, very last two in this session, because we got one more hour here. Let's give this app a test drive. I might actually be able to use it for this evening's figure drawing session, because then I can just like grab, what I can do is I can like use the, what I'm thinking of doing is I can use this, because this is a yoinking tool that is excellent for just like yoink, 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 tons of images from the internet, all collected together, and then I can just export the images into a folder, and then I can run the folder. This is actually a folder that I exported from earlier, and it's got like all of these in here. Sorry if someone was drawing from this, by the way, but yeah, it's got whoa, yeah, it had the whole Leyendecker line up in there. That's kind of a problem. Yeah, you can see. I think I should do that. I mean, like, I don't think there's any, like, I don't think Google image search images are going to get me copyright stricken. Playing videos would. If I just yank like a bunch of images from Pinterest or something, it shouldn't be a problem. I can use that. I can just grab like tons of reference photos, art, and so other things. Yeah, that'd be good. Alrighty, I'm going to give it a test drive for the rest of this little segment here. Let's stretch that out. These are both literally on my screen right now, but if I set this up, I'll probably be doing it by app or something, so that like no matter where it is, I'll be able to see it. But and no matter where any of the apps are arranged, like my drawing space won't get in the way of. Oops, I'm not even drawing the model. Oof, I'm going to be very rusty coming in on this. But I did have some warm-ups with those figure drawing studies, draw-over studies. My freehand figure drawing, though, it's really poopy right now. That's why I'm running this class, so I can get mileage. So in addition to Steve Houston, I'm also going to be maybe looking at tools of Quick Sketch to try to share with you all. So I need a big refresher on that. Now you get to make fun of my lousy drawing skills. But yeah, now as a result of doing those drawovers and the study of Steve Houston stuff this morning, I'm now thinking in those terms, so that's what this leg is. Some of the other drawing that I'm doing here is me falling back on some bad habits that I was doing that in order to break. And now I'm starting to think, ooh, I can break those bad habits by doing this, maybe. Just get some cylinders in there before shortening going. What's happening with that knee? Have that happening with that knee. That's what's happening with that knee. I have a cube for that knee. And I didn't get the lean of the torso right. My gesture is off on this for sure. But I can fix that, I think. Maybe erase some of this. That's going to throw me off otherwise. I probably should have established the head sooner. So then I could measure stuff off this with the head. When I do make mistakes, I will try to make note of them because I want to fix them, and to the best that I can. So we got cylinder going up here for the arm, kind of. And the cylinder's no, I'm going back to that. Cylinder going back onto the body and attaching to the torso. Kind of like that. Getting kind of hairy with the lines. I probably want to erase a bit. Okay for a scuffed warm-up drawing there. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
You've got 6 minutes and 49 seconds left.
Cool. Getting roasting hot in this room. Air it out real quick and then I'll maybe use the last 5 minutes for warm our clothes. There goes the air conditioner. Alright. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
T minus 5 minutes and 19 seconds.
Perfect. Alright, let's try this guy. There's enough in here for me to keep me busy for the rest of the class for sure. But I mean, like, this will let people, like, who want to follow along with the figure drawing who are in Twitch follow along. I could even do something like in Discord, just stream the app itself, while in Twitch you get to see me actually drawing. In addition to the an overlay of the... Oh. Like it's been a short. Maybe more than that. So the leg or the torso. Like as of this. That's what's throwing me off. Okay. Yeah. Alright. Something like this, like a sweep for the shoulders a little bit. Counterposed by the hips, tilting down there. It's going to take a lot of drawing for me to get back in drawing shape. I can already tell, but just I'm on the right foot with practicing Steve Houston. My hand and eye are not warmed up yet. It's going to take some good mileage tonight and tonight's figure drawing class. Tonight's figure drawing workshop. Later this evening at 7 to 10 p.m. I'll make sure I gather a sufficient amount of figured pose reference that I could use. And if all else fails, I can use the line of action site or something. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
T-minus 3 seconds.
Ugh. Yeah, that right arm is too big. I mean, there's a lot of problems in here. My dexterity is all shit right now. So, oops. Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes. And that's starting now.
So we got another break. I'll just leave that on, I guess. Let's try this full screen, just for the heck of it. So this is what it would probably look like in the Discord once I set it up. And then on my stream it would be like this, and then like my drawing in the corner or something. Once I get the Twitch overlay set up for that. Let's see what people are doing in the Discord chat. Yeah, more stuff, trying to find an axis of balance out of those I see. Yeah, there's the gesture drawing app I was talking about. That's this thing over here. It's like $15, I think. Yeah, it's really handy to have for sure. Quite a good number of people. Awesome. So I think for these last two sessions, I'm going to give you a taste of like what long pose drawing is a little bit like. So I will probably have maybe 2 10s and then one pose for the final pose here. I'm going to try a kind of a scuffed version of the stream through Discord method, where Twitch will be getting this, basically. Here, let me reset this real quick. So it should be 10 minutes. Select folder. Let's draw 10 minutes. There we go. So it'll be 10 minutes per pose for 2 poses. And then the final pose will be, I think, 25 minutes. 20 to 25 minutes or so for the final pose for this session. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
T-4 seconds.
Oh. Okay, Google, stop. Alright, so we're literally going to start right now. I'm going to switch the Discord so that people will just see the gesture drawing. If you're watching through Discord, if you're watching on the stream, you'll just see me drawing next to this. I'm going to reset the timer on this. So really, really slow down if you want to follow along with this. I just want to use this to dip people's toes in the idea of working on long pose drawings. And reset the timer one more time. And I'm kind of using it to prep myself for this evening a little bit too. Sorry for the silence, I am concentrating at the moment. So you can't see it, but I'm actually using my thumb and forefinger to measure this out a little bit, and also my pencil a bit on my digital drawing tablet. So it's helping me correct proportional errors a little bit. Still, this thing's still pretty out of whack, but that's how you get it back in there. So once you've measured it out, you can start thinking of things in terms of how you do your photo drawovers. Of course, eventually the purpose of this will be to idealize these figures even more than how they appear or how you would get from just doing a drawover. Of course, this one is already been idealized because it is a copy of a drawing that I'm just doing a kind of a 10-minute study of. But same thing applies when you're working from a photo. Yet. Kind of avoiding it out of order. Normally I would want to draw the arm first before adding detail to other parts. But you don't have to draw everything in what amounts to a quick sketch. This is just a 10-minute quick sketch. This is not a figure lay-in. Although the 20-minute one we're going to do at the end here will be something closer to a lay-in. Or should be. This class has not covered lay-ins yet, so I just want to just dip people's toes in the idea of sitting and slowing down for a single pose for an entire drawing session. Like, it really forces you to slow down, go back and fix. And you should generally try to keep things as simple as possible. Not get overly complex, especially if you're new. problems with this for sure. That's nothing that can't be fixed because I made this simple. So like, adjust the arm, I can do this. Whoops. Adjust the arm, I can do something like this. What is happening with that? What the hell? That is so weird. Why is it doing that? Are my lines going vectorized or something? What the hell's going on? Did I hit some kind of setting for the eraser tool here that's causing this? This is really weird. I don't understand the ins and outs of Clip Studio. Well, they have a kneaded eraser, which is what you use when doing figure drawings like these with charcoal and stuff. Alright, so instead of this pose, we're going to do maybe, I want to say, no, that one covers up his feet. Another seated pose would be this one's pretty clear. It's leaning forward though. But we can try this. I think for this one I'm going to want to do something like this to start it. Just kind of get a feel for the overall pose. And this would not be necessarily accurate to the drawing, I'm just trying to get a feel for it. Maybe I should loosen up a little bit more on this one compared to the last one I did. Trying to keep everything light so I can make changes without much problem. Try not to be as precious with this one as I was with the last one. Squinting is also a tool that you should make use of, and I'm starting to remember that I should be making use of it right now. There's a lot of stuff that I haven't been doing that I should be doing that would help my drawing, but that I've forgotten to do because I'm out of practice. Squinting and checking. Like shifting your eye back and forth to your drawing can really help out. My lines lack confidence right now, so that's why they're getting all hairy like this. But the more of these I do, you're going to see my lines starting to tighten up more. Also, I can always erase a bit. This whole thing is, I've gone a little bit too dark in some areas now, so I can just knock that back. Go back over, maybe make another layer. So you have to kind of decide on your drawing what shapes you're going to use and what angles where. So I'm using ellipses here on this guy for a cylinder that's turning into a cube at the end for the forearm. Let's see what I can make with this. Oh, okay, well we're on break now. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
Alright, so my two scummy out of proportion figures here, but are an okay start for coming back into figure drawing horribly out of shape. I just got to tune my hand and eye back up. Like this one's already, like I'm already starting to fix some of my problems a little better than the first one I did. So the workshop tonight will be focused on longer poses. We will do short poses to warm up, but we'll be mainly doing 5s, 10s, and some 25s. Because I want people to get more in the habit of practicing slowing down and thinking about what they're drawing. Yeah, thank you, Jolt. Jolt Zero said in my Twitch chat that it's a vector layer that was causing that, which is really annoying. I may actually do tonight's figure drawing workshop traditionally. Let me see if I can find my charcoal pencils for that, though. Goody, I found them. And I got my razor blades and my sanding pad. Cool. Or I did. Shoot. Well, there's some of them in there. To order some more charcoal pencils. Well, I could probably use some other pencils for it. It's just going to come out a little light. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
You've got 8 seconds to go.
Okay, Google, stop timer. Okay, Google.
Alright, consider it cancelled.
Alright. So I'm going to, let's see here. Okay, Google, stop. Alright, I'm going to make this a 20-minute pose. I think that's good. A good one to end this on, and then there's maybe a little bit of time to touch on homework. And I'm just going to go for this, to be honest. If you're in Discord, I may actually be tilting my monitor to the side right now so that I can run the reference on a separate monitor, and so I can get the full length of my display, so I can do a full land with my arm gestures. So let's see here. So this will be a single 20-minute drawing. I'm going to pick which one it is. The timer will officially start when I say so. We did that one previously, I think, but this is an okay one to go back to. Alright, I think I'll do this one. Yeah. Let's do this one. Alright. The timer has not officially started now, but you can start drawing if you like. I'm just changing the orientation of my display so I can do this the way I want to do it. I may have to end the Twitch stream early because it's going to look kind of weird tilted that way, though. To my monitor so that I can fully access it in portrait mode. So maybe get rid of these menus here. Oh yeah, this feels a lot better for doing what'll be long figure poses later. I'm gonna have to figure out how to set up Twitch to display it when I have it flipped in portrait mode like this. Yeah, this feels a lot more like drawing on a drawing horse, the way I have it set up right now. So muscle memory of figure drawing class is starting to come back to me a little bit more from doing this. Because I can pull the kinds of lines in portrait mode on my canvas that I can with a charcoal pencil. So this would be an okay substitute. Until I get some, until I'm able to get the charcoal pencils I need. I know they're floating around somewhere in my house. Oof, I'm only 5 minutes in and I've drawn this far into the drawing. I'm going way faster than I should. But it's okay for this drawing because I'm getting a feel for how the portrait mode feels. Like there's more of a lean going on there than I have drawn, so maybe I should reposition the head. So apologies to the Twitch viewers, this has to look really weird right now. But I'll get the technical stuff solved out with this during the break, so you can see how the display looks in portrait mode a little bit better. I think there's a way that the overlay can be formatted to capture all of the portrait mode somehow. Ooh, this works. Alright. Check this out, Twitch. How do you like that? You can't see all of the portrait mode yet, especially if I draw really low, but at least you can see the model that I'm studying from. Yeah, drawing at this size is really helpful. basically have a 22-inch display, Cintiq display flipped on its side. So I can pull long lines down when making this figure. And it feels like a kind of narrow figure drawing class pad right now. I wonder if I should try animating like this. I might get better results. Only 10 minutes in, jeez. Yeah, I've really sped along on this thing. Let's maybe see if I can do more with the head. Oops, I really fucked that up. There we go. I'm going to try bits and pieces of what Steve Houston was talking about here with mixing gesture with structure and adding the structure elements I need to describe the 3D form. Thank God the house has finally cooled down now. So a pretty good figure drawing this evening. Figure drawing session later. I really like drawing like this with in the portrait mode. I'm going to definitely use it more tonight for sure. And this 20-minute drawing right here makes me want to do more. This is turning out better than I expected it would. I still got problems and stuff, but I feel like I'm getting something out of this. And I might want to maybe use portrait mode a lot more often for drawing my stuff. Being able to pull downwards is like that, on long sweeping lines like that. This is like really handy. Makes me kind of want to see how, like, what's the biggest size Cintiqs that they have right now? I mean, this is a 22-inch. I know there's a 24-inch size. Is there another one? Makes me kind of want to see what those would be like if you tilted them on their side. Or they might be as comfortable to draw on this at their massive girth. .27 and 32-inch. Wow, that's crazy, man. Yeah, well, if I get rich, I'm definitely interested in that. Or I could just buy more newsprint drawing pads. There's also that. More newsprint drawing pads and charcoal for a fraction of the cost. Want to maybe add an indication of the dimensionality of what's going on there, but so it's looking a little flat. Not too concerned with perfection for this one because this is kind of a dry run of me doing this. Okay, I think I'll have us do like several 20-minute poses tonight. I'll maybe start with like warm-up 2s, 5s, 10s, and then 20s for the rest of the session. Yeah, now that I've kind of carved into this head, this is looking a little small to me. head drawing I'm going to definitely need to dig way into. So I'm horribly out of practice at that as well. But that's why we're here. We'll get to practice all that and more. Oh, there we go. Drawing finished. So that is time right now for our session. I'll switch the Twitch overlay back into regular display mode. There we go. And this is what I got. Oh, yeah. There's still problems with it, like the ankle's kind of stumpy there. The legs are kind of beefy. But it's not anything that can't be fixed. And the head needs work and stuff. But I mean, like, the overall kind of feel of it is getting a little bit in the direction of where I need to go. Oops. Gotta turn off the overlay. There we go. But I kept it simple, so like this is not that hard to fix. And that's the point of doing these long poses. Anyway, so I'm gonna go over homework real quick. So your homework, if you were here for the earlier session, you should already have it, but it'll be available in the Discord. But we're going to be doing like 1 to 9 pages total this week, or 3 to 9 pages total this week of quote-unquote required homework. And the homework is 3 different exercises, plus whatever additional figure drawing you do. And it'll be 1 to 3 pages of photo reference draw-overs of figure studies, preferably nude or partially clothed. Try to use a lot of the stuff that we went over in the earlier class today. You can watch a replay video of the 10 a.m. class this morning where I talk about the Steve Houston principles that I was trying to apply in this more advanced session. 1 to 3 pages of figure drawing studies that are either from observation of real-world figures or from photo or video reference, ideally nude figures. And 1 to 3 pages of combination draw-over and copy studies from existing good draftsmen. That includes people like Andrew Loomis, Bern Hogarth, George Britman, Phil Pugh, Steve Houston, Jc Leyendecker, Norman Rockwell, Old Masters, etc. So that's your homework, and that's in addition to any other additional figure drawing you do. Also, like work you do in the workshop classes can count as homework too, as well. So you can literally get started on the homework tonight if you're doing the 7 to 10 stuff. So, that said, it is now time for your congratulations for sitting through a whole figure drawing class. Oh shoot! I didn't stream that. Well, I didn't stream the Google Chrome doc to class that showed the homework. I did to Twitch though. Yeah, I forgot to switch the app. It's my bad.
Congratulations! Congratulations! Congratulations.
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations!
Congratulations.
Congratulations! Thank you all.